Hey Versager, willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge von Vorgelegt für unseren Tadel. Heute sind bei mir Magnetadministrator in Wander und Zürich
Guten Tag.
und Griff-Administrator von Wahlnacht und Saga.
Ja, Leute.
Werfen wir einen Blick auf neue Karten. And that's pretty much where my German ability to speak ends. And yeah, just as expected, we will probably get a lot of chairs from Citia today. So Zinger and Anonymous today have, this week have posted many chairs for the new tribe DC. This chair is Wonder Chair, 1 mana, chair from Citia. Can't attack you, 0 attack units have Endure 1 everywhere, and it's a 0/3. So this is a 1 mana Lord, and it affects itself, and it's an insane blocker. Are you guys here?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I was just like a little bit baffled. Like, this is. Why am I looking at a chair realm?
Well, chair has incredible potential. You just don't see it because you don't have the imagination.
True. Chairs are an inseparable part of human culture.
Yeah.
So, as far as the chair realm goes, there was an interesting conversation with Heino in the subreddit channel, because he believed that the reason zone realms exist is so the interaction can be between different things in this realm can be highlighted, and the chair realm doesn't have a lot of that potential. And I said, no, realms can exist for any reason people want. That being said, I don't vote pretty much every chair.
Let's be honest. I think, in terms of annoyed, it's just a theme that doesn't really sit well with him, so that's the reason.
Yeah, I just think there is an interesting conversation to be had of what realms are and what are they for. And there is the dump realms and the argument for them being legendary slots, which yes, the game currently does incentivize. But I don't know if we really want this place tribal super blocker. This is clearly way too strong.
Wait. How many 080k units do we have, like, at all?
Well,
Um,
you have enough to make a stall deck, honestly. Like, this counts to Dihad passive. This is a 1-drop 0/4 with Endure 1. This is already extremely powerful for that 2-1. And then you have your good places like Shrine. Yeah, I don't really know many other good places other than Shrine off the top of my head.
Base department.
Base department isn't that good, Magnetar. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Is Shrine that good?
Shrine is already good as 1 mana, and then it allows you to give you 1 max mana, and then it allows you to splash. It is very good.
To be honest, let's look at it as a deck building tool. Even if there aren't too many good zero deck cards right now, this chair actually leans into, or helps you lean into, a certain direction, because Endure 1 everywhere is a pretty good thing to have on blockers, and you just put this as a 1-drop down to the table and block anything that is a single attack unit or 2 attack unit, because for the most part you will survive this. The funniest interaction is, what's the card that actually increases the attack of all units by 1?
Yes, the corrupted lands.
Yeah. At that point, it's a very heavy anti-synergy tool with that because because it then turns off actually your endure on every other card. But with multiples, does the endure one stack? Is the question?
Yes,
Probably.
it should, because it doesn't change the attack, so it should stack. So the reason Corrupted Lands doesn't work with this is because Corrupted Lands is specifically can't attack synergy, and this is zero attack synergy, and then there's place synergy, and they are often free things with zero overlap, and it never comes together, and it never works.
Maybe this time it will. Surely it will work this time, right?
This time it will work, and we will call it a full house. It's a place, base, apartment, share.
So another thing I thought randomly is that we have walked around and people like it because there's a lot of interesting things Lyman is doing with wax, and from that I remembered an image of an antagonist from Tick cartoon that was like a chair, and I think his name was Chairman or something like that. So yeah, this is pretty much what you should do with Sitya, I think. So yeah, as it is, I believe I have the might and support of the entire council to dump out it. Let's look at another card, and it's another Tinker card. Your turn. Might need to read it.
So Beggars Box is a 3-mana spirit box from Hope's Hollow with Chroma Mind and steal and store a cost 2 or less enemy unit, fetch a card.
So it's another cost-based removal, but that generates card advantage.
How many cost-based removals do we have?
Well, at least defecate, and other than that, I don't think we have many in standard.
The Venestrate is the only one I can actually think of.
I remember definitely that Cornmeal tried to make cost-based removal angels, the one with entrance destroy a unit that costs less than this or something like that. It was a duelist.
I don't think that got in.
Yeah, it didn't. That's try. Yeah, I can't really use the search tool of either Sevas on the baseline to find other cost-based removals. Do you get any others?
I think on Legacy there's like Uppercut.
Uppercut is it about attack, I believe.
Wasn't it cost?
No, it's if you have a unit that with 3 or less attack, you can destroy an enemy unit with 3 or more attack.
Yeah.
Uppercut is not a very good design.
It is perfectly fine to punch someone's shit in.
So this removes at the very baseline. It removes enemy 2 drop or above 1 drop or whatever you care about to hit, and this is very relevant. This always hit Castiel. And then it allows you to either grab this or any other card if you are with the store and advantage deck. You can speak, guys. You don't need to wait for my permission or anything.
No, not really. Okay, cool. Magneto, what's your opinion on this card?
What is the flavor of this card? Why does Box steal people?
I mean,
You're not getting the flavor. This box got stolen and is now being stored in a hideaway section of that beggar's home.
Okay,
Or
but then why are you
ridiculous.
stealing a unit? Are you
To be
wait?
honest, should be okay. In terms of flavor, this more screams child abduction.
I mean,
Let's not.
okay, but are you really a person if you cost 2 or less?
Griff, I don't know about Germany, but I don't think beggars are the ones who are stealing children.
No. I'm not implying anything, but as I said, fact-wise, this screams child abduction. Flavor-wise, this means okay, you stole a bag of crackers and now storing it somewhere in your fucking sleeping bag. Um, and pulling it out, and I hope it's. And I'm going with more food because storing a child and pulling it out of nowhere because you stored it in stasis somewhere is kind of inhumane.
No, I figured out the flavor. It's a reference to a meme. So there was this meme going around that that was formatted as an information picture, and it was the ducks in the parks are free. Government doesn't want you to know this, but you can take them. And I think this is the reference.
Wait a second, what does the fetch dog cost?
The fetch. I don't remember. Was it Sumana Tutu?
It's indeed a 2-mana 2/2 with Agile.
We found it! It steals dogs!
Oh god!
Based?
Oh god.
Do they? Oh no! Do they eat the dogs afterwards?
No, they are turned into the beggar's dogs that actually grow when you're playing actions.
No, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that the beggars dogs, the flavor text on the beggars dogs imply that they are indeed sometimes eaten.
No, you see, you use this to take dogs, and then you use those dogs to take more dogs, and it's like a pyramid scheme.
Ooh. It's a dogception. I see.
Oh, it's a chroma mind. What does that imply? Do we have most of the current store and fetch cards in mind, or
I think they're neutral. Most of them.
I think
no?
if
No, most
the
of them
fetch
have
cards,
affinity actually. Like Logbox is the only neutral I see. Like in mind you have Battery Tender, Dantalian Roadkeeper, and Neon Zigzag, and in Spirit you have Dav the Discarded, Coffin, and some and no, that's an inconvenience store. That's a lunatic token.
I thought most of them were actually neutral. Whatever.
So okay, so do we want this card in game? Is it too strong, too weak, to don't care about it?
I'm all for dog abduction. Don't quote me. So I'm all for the upvote on this card.
I mean, well, I can agree with the sentiment. I feel like it may be a bit strong because like the fenestrate hits 3 or less costs, right?
Yes.
And this I mean I guess this does 2 or less costs, but it also steals the unit
Yes,
into your hand.
it doesn't just generate card advantage, but it's always banishes instead of destroying, which is an upside.
Yeah. I feel like it might be a bit too strong, to be honest.
I can see that sentiment. Especially since you can also already play the mind because the Chroma Mind is also on the card.
Yeah, 2 or 3 affinities. Doesn't mind have cheap cards to banish units? Hmm.
Not really.
Yeah, this will be a fairly. This will probably be a very consistent pick in mind control decks then. And generally anything slower than aggro. Yeah, maybe it is too strong, huh?
I mean, technically, we could still quote-unquote vote it in and fix it afterwards.
Yeah, this sounds like a good strategy to me.
Because just recently we actually had a week where no update was posted.
Yeah, we might have another one this week actually. Okay, new card unvote. Okay, that was on the submitted.
Yep.
Fox of Fox Fortune is a Fox object to mana 0/3. Active, each player draws a card. Active, each player creates a coin. So, yeah. Griff was fairly excited for it on the submitted from what I remember. And do we have, so let's talk coin synergy, because we have coin synergy in game, right? That wasn't brought on the submitted much. It's definitely too strong to be a mill card on its own. Too weak to be a mill card on its own.
Yeah. To be honest, I think you rarely go for the draw effect, mostly for the coin, and then you have to kind of account for the card options that your opponent has in hand to be effective in terms of playing it. At worst it is chair support because it's 0 attack. At best, well, it's a weird little quote-unquote advantage engine that takes away a spot on your board and partially helps your opponent. It's a weird card. I like it, but not for the system.
Like, most of Symmetric's effects in Collective can be consistently used better than your opponent, right? But and often and in case of Symmetric taxes are played in Heldim because of Heldim inevitability that he had but doesn't have anymore because now he's banned. But like, this seems like always opponent has the upper hand because they can not just use this first. Yes, I know soft passing, but they can use it as efficiently as you because it's a card from their deck. It's a coin.
I feel like the best thing you could use it for is actually for the draw effect. If you actually have cards like Figaro and the like, which actually punish your opponent for drawing.
Yeah, but that's a very soft punishment. Man,
I mean,
where are the Jalogs? When will they be back?
I mean, there is one Draluk in Standard.
Yeah, because I made him and he's terrible. And he's
No,
not bad.
it's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's good for one purpose, and that is disabling Cornelius.
Amazing. Just for one stat point. Actually, yeah, that seems like not that bad of a tech card.
Yeah. But no, but there are some traps, right? Like from Zucrose especially, I think.
Traps are such a memes always in Collective, I feel like.
I mean, sure, but like, I still feel like maybe this could be used because we don't really have many cards which actually force their opponent to draw.
True, so yes, pretty much the same conclusion. It doesn't seem very useful right now, but everyone wants this effect to be in game and wait here.
Yeah.
Which seems fair enough. New card. Flaros General of Ash, which is Galatian Knight from Gemel, 5 mana 5/5, Duelist Overrun. Banish the slain unit and the top 4 cards of your deck. This attacks. This costs 1 less for every 3 cards banished from your deck this turn. So, banishing cards from deck isn't buggy, right? Because I know that banish can be a bit of a dumpster zone where you just put everything, but there isn't an issue with counting banished cards from deck, right?
Yeah,
Probably not.
If you banish stuff into if you banish stuff from anywhere, it's kind of irrelevant. The problem is actually when you try to get or get something from the banish zone without actually specifying a property beforehand, and if you're looking at the banish zone for whatever reason, like, oh yeah, I grow larger because of every card that's banished.
We all remember Master of Darkness. Well, not his name, but it was something like that. So yeah, mana cheat for banishing your deck. How consistently you can banish 15 cards of your deck to play this for free? Not very, I believe.
50.
Yes, 15.
Right. I misread it because I can't see anything on my screen because of the stupid sun.
Well, it seems like Magni there has a little bit of a second sunrise on her own.
May I suggest to you a modern technology called blinders?
I have them on two out of 3 of my windows, but I don't have one for the other window.
That's like, I call that an exploit.
What? What?
One has clearly found out your weakness.
So the thing with this card is that it needs a lot of decks banish to be cheap, and then when this destroys a unit, it banishes even more of your deck. So you need to shuffle in a lot of chars for this to not kill you, basically.
I mean, you can technically shuffle other things besides Charles, right?
Yeah, but like this is the idea, I believe.
Well, yeah. I mean, so you don't have to banish 15 cards for
Well,
it
you
to
can
be.
banish less and play him for more expensive, definitely for more mana.
Yeah, but what I'm mainly wondering about is if you could actually cheat him out before turn 5.
Yeah, the thing before turn 5, yeah, easily you can turn 3 just banish some stuff, like but
But then you actually still need the mana, right?
yeah, exactly. Good. A lot Gaussian stuff banishes during fight, like Andras or Purger.
Yeah, which doesn't really help you much, right?
And Flamfist Firebrands costs 3 mana to scour 3.
Then you have Scouring Orb as well.
Yeah, but that's
One mana.
Legacy. Well, is it Legacy?
Well, you have meditation in standard, right? Which is
Meditation
Scour
fucking
Orb, but
sucks.
and don't you dare insult meditation like that.
I mean, well, I like meditation, but do that shit IRL. That the card itself is terrible.
And it's not completely useless,
It's
right?
always no, it's not completely useless. It's just a great.
Popka, please show me on that Florus where meditation has hurt you.
No, well, it's just people use it because they don't have access to scouring card. Yeah, I don't think you can really cheat this out, huh? Like you need Eye of the Tyrant, pretty much.
You don't really care too much about cheating it out for 0. You can perfectly play it for 2 or 3 mana as well, because
With what?
you're still looking at a 5/5 duelist overrunner.
Yeah, but with what are you even cheating it? Like, what are you scouring with? Do we have any active scour?
I feel like we have at least one active Scour card.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it is.
We have this mage, 2/3, Vigilant Mage Hunter, but he needs an active.
Yeah.
And other than that, we have Million Dusk Witness with an active Scour 3. But
Actually, the Vigilant Mage Hunter potentially could be used for it, right? Because if you could maybe generate coins or something or beforehand.
I think, yeah, I guess. Are you running this in your main Gaussian deck by that point?
We also have now the Weary Dragon Maid that scours 2 on summon.
Well,
The cracked Hourglass for 3.
yeah,
And
but
gives the top cards of your 3 cards of the top of your deck -1 cost, which will rotate in next month.
Mm,
is it? Wait.
do you
You could
run
maybe.
cracked hourglass with Gaussians though? Because at that also it doesn't even look like hourglass. It looks like the Catholic thing, you know, hostia. Yeah, pretty much. Uh, I don't think this can be very efficiently cheated in the current standard.
Maybe with Lens of the Eternal, which on Entomb scours equal to its attack.
The
But I'm not
Candlelighter?
sure.
The Candlelighter? The...
No, Lens of the Eternal. It has. I mean, Candlelight, I guess, scout is like scout 2, right? And I think it's you would need like. What would you need?
Well, I guess Candlelighter, if you have a very buffed unit, could vanish a lot.
Oh yeah,
the thing is, like,
right. The summon, I forgot.
we're not really caring too much about banishing 50 cards. More like keeping it so that you can play this dude consistently turn 3.
Yeah,
So you have
but
Candlelighter.
what? Like, what are you using to scour 6 for like that amount of mana?
I mean, you can play Resourceful Librarian turn 1.
Yeah, but this cares about what you banish this turn. It doesn't care what you banish altogether.
Oh, wait a second. What?
Yes, it's this
Yeah.
costs 1 less for every 3 cards banished from your deck this turn.
Oh, this was an acoustic card that is, which is usually over 2. Why does it have this shit clause?
His bias blinded him.
Literally blinded by his bias.
The biggest opponent of every card gamer. Reading! Oh.
Wait, so
Imagine
Scour
reading.
Orb is reprinted? We have that in standard? So yeah,
Wait, we
I
do?
don't think you can very efficiently cheat this.
Oh. Yeah, because even with Scouring Orb, even on turn 4, you play 2 Scouring Orbs, and this is still only 3 mana, right?
Okay, but you can support the card, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
So
It has a place.
it just wants the Tyrant to come back.
Oh god, I have the Tyrant support.
Recently I posted one banish top 5 cards of your deck, and Acoustic was the only one who commented. No, I see why. So yeah, do you guys think this is like a good idea? This kind of mana cheat on top of this downside, basically that's downside upside because it has synergy, but it also burns your deck even faster. I think this is interesting to me.
Balance-wise, it's probably fine.
It is okay. I like it.
Okay, let's look at another card. Now your turn to read. I don't remember who's exactly, but not mine.
Okay. Flaming Flame. A 1-cost 1/1 element from Seal of Elementary. Ambush, Leap, Entomb, create a flame. The flame token is a 1-cost 1/1. When this leaves play, banish this. So yeah, it's basically just a flame token generator that blocks flyers. Cool.
The credit is too small to read.
What actually? Why did Zinker use? Why did Zinker use a different flame token art? Like,
Because they are now flames and have name-based synergies.
I mean, yeah, but the original flame token art is like it's iconic, right?
Is it?
It absolutely
Question,
is, and
because
don't you dare say otherwise.
I'm saying
don't say that.
otherwise.
Gentle Cat already created way back when a different flame token. And most of the old flame tokens aren't the same token. Which is why the whole problem of flame tokens even appeared in the first.
But yeah, but they have, but most of the old flame cards have the same art on the flame token, right?
Yeah, but then
because
the
most of them-
realm, the specific flames came up, but
Yeah, but this isn't a realm specific flame. That's the thing, right?
yeah, but I believe that the Nitromelon himself posted a flame with different token from his realm. I mean, different image.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
I
it's
have no
it's it's
defense.
it's iconic just for you. You are living alone in your small silly world.
Get out of your base department, bro. Sis.
Yeah, other than that, this is pretty much similar to more defensive version of a Firefly. Um, it's it's probably is this what Perma needed, like turn 2 blocker that can be used turn 3 for like procs? Because I don't think you are running this in like other strength heroes. It doesn't seem very good for Heldin compared to his other one shots.
What do you play self suck in right now?
Baldwin, I guess, or Perma. Never mind. Yeah, pretty much Perma.
Yeah.
Say Baldwin because they, as said last time in 7 for approval, I don't remember if the Baldwin change is already or not.
It's not. I don't think it
Because
is.
Baldwin was meant to be a martial promotion hero.
Yeah, but
Yep.
Martian proportion is usually used on units a bit more expensive than one.
And
Yeah.
yes and no, you can actually climb in from cheaper to higher units while you're doing it. So if you can actually generate even advantage on lower cost units, you can then just get into your aggressive plays like turn one you play this.
Oh, yeah, and we have like the active refresh units too, like Cloud of Data.
Yeah, but we still haven't gotten the new Baldwin, right?
Yeah, but we are talking about the future Magnetar.
Here's now.
We've been talking about the future for the last 4 months or more, maybe. Is that accurate?
I mean,
Now you're talking about the
some heroes
past.
were changed already, so
Well, sure, but
I mean, we
Baldwin
were
is
always talking about the future because they aren't in game yet.
well,
Just there are more further away and closer futures Magnetar. So
yeah.
yeah, but is this like exciting? Does anyone care? Because I kinda don't.
Not sure. I mean, for Baldwin, do we have enough elementals for Baldwin?
Baldwin elementals. Every beard hero gets their elemental decks.
I feel like most elementals are mined, right?
Yes, but Hawkins elemental is the funniest one, so I don't care for Lazar. Because the Hawkins has this absolutely dogshit bottom tier deck where he uses the refresh elementals for his active to get Cloud Frogs and the Salamanders out.
There are 5 strength elementals.
So yeah, but this is 6. That's enough to make a deck. And you can splash.
Yeah.
Sure, but like one of those is like a wax.
You can also you can also just so flames are often generated by external cards that aren't collectible. I mean collectible cards that aren't flames themselves.
This one in Legacy also gets benefits from flame support cards because it's also called a flame.
It gets them in standard too, right? There's Ferocious Flamehound.
Oh, true.
If that has been updated.
I hate Ferocious Flamehound. This card is so insane. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys are excited for Feared Weird Hero getting Elemental Tribal? Because I am not sure, honestly.
Well,
Why not?
I don't think every bird needs an elemental exactly, and I'm and other things. The new Baldwin with his new powerful ability will be able to pop a lot of entombs, and this works with that, but it's just doesn't feel super unique.
I mean, flames. I could support like the return of a flames deck, and I think that especially new Baldwin could potentially actually be good for flames, because I feel like flames always have been in an affinity which wasn't really good for them.
And how does the new Baldwin benefits then? The Heralds 2 for next elemental?
Wait, what is new Baldwin's like?
I don't. I'm not sure if that's actually if his level 2 is changed or not. I don't remember.
let me sell you on a unique thing about this card. This has ambush and leap. And strength doesn't get either of these very often. Leap in general is basically only represented in spirit and in mind.
Well, we have neutral leapers like just play Elusive Cloud Frog the forehead.
Well, elusive Cloud Frog doesn't leave a flame behind.
It will leave 2 Elusive Cloud Frogs if you are smart about it. And then 4, and then 8.
And then your board is full of cloud frogs, and you can't have any more cloud frogs. And
So your argument is that this is a good one job for Pelma control and controlling strength generally?
Let's call it that.
Yeah,
Baldwin elemental control.
fair enough. New strength control staple, new card time.
It's
Well,
surprising how many.
we talked about this card already, so different new cards time.
Wait, this time it has shapeshift.
I'm sure, but it's still over curve.
It has shapeshift. This changes everything, right?
And you know, it's not really enough to make me about it. Is it for any of you guys?
I mean, I guess it having shapeshift just makes it stronger than it already was, which.
Yeah, I don't really like that this can target itself still.
I think we'll just download it and move on.
Cyber Hammer Mage. We also talked about this. I think.
Did this change at all?
Yeah, I think the numbers are different. It wasn't it was a 2-2 and now it's a 3-2. So you can see the benefits of submitted for your approval format where they pick cards, definitely.
Did you download it?
Yeah.
Hammer Mages are always a win.
Yeah, I don't think this quite works with the either neon package or on its own, and it generally seems strong. So yeah, I was talked about it. The reason I see this is because Zinker blocked it, so he was the last time who touched the card. Rune of Added Power. So this is a return of runes by Tostalmo. With active target ally unit gets +2 attack until end of turn. Temporary buffs on a one drop. This is kinda new.
Isn't this pretty pretty weak.
Yeah.
I don't see any place for this either.
I mean, technically you could probably just use it in like Heldim to buff your Cassiel more.
I mean,
But
yeah, but you have so
there are better
many
cards
better
for that. Yeah.
options, yeah.
I mean, but that's not really a thing of like the design. I think it's like just a thing of the balance on it, right?
And this can attack itself.
Why would you do that? And I
Because
guess
you
it can
want for
block.
Helden proc.
Can't attack. Alright. Alright, I misunderstood somehow.
So yeah, this seems extremely weak. How about you, Grief?
I think I didn't have enough to drink for this to comment on this.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's go further.
That's bad, right?
Emissary of Extinction. That was targeted on submitted. It's fine enough. We'll see. Not a lot of high jobs. It probably will need a buff. Curious Inquisitor. This was posted right now. Quon, leap, summon, create a copy of a card in your opponent's hand. Give it ethereal. So this is like this hand info with like possibility. Do we have any leave the hand triggers?
Not really.
This will seem so much better in mind, because then you at least use this for like proc for Funo with hand entrance, entering a card. But yeah, it does pay only like one stat point for this, and it gets leap too. But yeah, that's like extremely irrelevant tribe.
It's a DC card. I mean, that's basically it, with tribes not being in standard, so...
I feel
But
like
again, okay, let's do some theory crafting. We take the fox that creates 2 coins. You play this, make a copy of the starship, or no, was it starship?
I
Oh no,
don't
a
know.
gold coin. A gold coin from your opponent. Now we have 2 coins. This card pays for itself. Copium. But yeah, no, this is actually not a bad card, to be honest. You can use this on a action spam matchup, as well as getting some hand information, because you will always you always know the cards that your opponents already have, so getting either a tool in your opponent's hand as well, be it a board wipe, be it interaction, be it even a good attacker, as long as you can actually pay the cost, this is always a net positive for you. The thing is, like, you cannot really play this turn 2 except for you only caring about hand knowledge.
Oh, yeah, I just noticed that the noun and adjective are swapped, and the original is inquisitive visit. No, wait, they aren't. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know if I am still not convinced. I mean, I see like the value you are getting out of this, and that you can use zero cost cards, but it feels like in most matchups this doesn't matter much, and it's kind of just a bad to drop.
I mean, you almost definitely don't play this on turn 1, right?
Yeah,
Wait,
of
what?
course you aren't. What are you talking about?
Yeah, turn 2. Did I say turn 1? I meant turn 2.
Well, when you are fighting aggro, you don't have many other options.
And share. Yeah, I really wish this was mined, because then maybe you could also use
The original
like,
Quom was in spirit.
but that doesn't mean every quorum has to be in spirit, does it? If you really want to, you can give it chroma mind or something.
Tradition.
But you can give it chroma mind, right? It's still spirit with chroma mind. It's curious, and it's curious about the other affinities.
In this podcast, we're not gatekeeping Quome. Quomes can identify as any affinity that they want to, also high space turtle.
So yes, Space Delta has joined the podcast, but they aren't talking with us, but they are here and observing, which is always allowed. So yeah, I just don't see you putting this in any deck in Spirit. Like, what kind of Spirit or KM, fuck KM, but deck cares about?
KM?
I mean, KM, you can use this
Can you
for banish, yeah.
Can you? No, I was more thinking about. Can you use psychics in KM maybe? Because like psychics often give you hand information, right? So then you could actually
Yeah,
use that
so,
hand
this
information.
is redundant.
No, but because then you can actually use this for the copy a card in your opponent's hand part, right? Because then you actually know that your opponent has something which you want to copy.
The card you copied is your opponent's. It doesn't fit your deck, and it's like, and you
It
already
might
have too
fit
much.
your deck.
And you already,
It might fit your deck.
and you are
Potentially.
already having 2 mana less. This is terrible.
Alright, hold on. There is I think, that dragon which got in recently, right? Pawn Shop Dragon. Oh wait, it's strength. Right, I thought it's neutral. Never mind.
Yes, so now you are giving opponent your card to then copy it. This is a this is advanced.
Indeed it is. My strategies are very advanced.
Oh,
Man, honestly, I'm voting it so you can do this stupid shit because
oh god.
We've upvoted many cards today compared to how many we normally upvote, right?
That's my positive effect on you.
Damn. So we gotta get rid of
new
greed.
chair, everyone.
New chair.
Set the stats of all your units in a hand to 6/6 and to destroy all units with 6/6. This is I kinda like this with less than 6 attacks. Sorry, I kinda like this. This is kinda interesting because it's a board wipe that you have to use how was it called? Sacrifice effect that also buffs units in your hand if you like you have this cheap wingy control. That's interesting, right? Right?
I'm just very confused. Okay, this is another chair that from Citya that doesn't really synergize with chairs altogether, and also has anti-synergies with the other. What was it?
Previous places. Previous chair was made by Zinker. This chair is made by Anonymous. They are legend. They are not leaving their house very often. Chairs are very important to Anonymous. Okay.
I see. So basically, they're placing all their bets on this chair to be used on any kind of deck that you can actually utilize this kind of effect in.
So,
I see.
I like this effect though. Like, yeah, it's not going to chair deck because there isn't going to be a chair deck. Like, this is interesting board wipe with interesting hand buff. Like, this is interesting.
Can cope.
Hmm?
A man can cope. One day there will be a giant chair deck that cares about chairs, but not this one.
Chair Hawkins. I'm telling you, Chair Hawkins.
Oh no.
Chair Hawkins 2023.
Oh my god. Okay, Mag, this sounds just so damn wrong in all, in all the wrong ways. Chair Hawkins? Like, really? Like the Stephen Hawking running down a wheelchair. Chair Hawkins.
You're the one making the connection, right?
I don't get it. Yeah, I honestly am just waiting for like some kind of opportunity to armchair psychologists to show up, but nothing came up yet.
We're not leading into it right now. So please take your seat and wait there until we actually settle on this.
Okay, but like ignore the chair deck. Like on its own, this is a very interesting chair to have. It destroys small units. by probably failing at them. This is a good flavor. And it creates, makes when it's in your hand, able to sit on it by being bigger. So this is
True.
Personally, for me, the whole effect doesn't really sit well with me, so
why not?
it's a cool card and concept, but at the other, in the other side of things, like you don't really care about it too much, and that because it okay. In the end, this is a darts fanatic on a 012. That
It's
is
not a
a
darts
No,
fanatic
no,
at
it
all.
doesn't change the cost.
no. I mean, effect-wise for the attack abilities.
But that's at that point the comparison is completely useless. Like the
No,
only
no.
thing you use
What I
darts
meant
fanatic
is,
for is the cost.
yeah, but the thing is, like, what I meant with the darts fanatic is like darts fanatic also sets attack stats and defense stats, and yeah, it sets the cost. But in this case, it's my like a darts fanatic that you care about a weenie deck. The problem is, if you're already running an aggro deck, that's already relying on some mid-range tools. Why are you dropping this card? Because this hurts actively your aggro deck.
No, this will create new deck. It will be Winnie Control. It's gonna be great. It's going to.
Only has a cards in hand. So all the cards you've already used for your control setup probably will fucking die.
Oh well, some sacrifices have to be made.
Okay. I'm pitching a concept. What if like control insect build? Well, how do you sack this then? Never mind.
Okay. This is probably some bullshit on that control deck where, yeah, everything in your hand gets stronger, everything in your grave gets stronger, and you just do this shit up. The entire board of your opponent, and yeah, because you're on that and oozes, everything comes back. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Trust me, guys. I am voting this. It'll be fine.
This is gonna be great.
New card. Oh, it's the Quam. So Petal Bloom Quam is a Quam from Black Crypt. It's a word ambush. When you play a non-native action, bounce this, you gain 2 HP. This gets +1/+1 permanently, and it's a 0/1 stranger sighted with mid journey.
That's the most important part of it.
So I gave feedback on this card to stranger side. It's a word. He changed it to ambush. So this is like a slowly growing unit that you bounce to your hand and back to like block enemy units, heal yourself, and be able to do funky non-native shenanigans that Stranger Side was hoping for all this time. Does it work?
Do you actually have enough non-native action generation for this to be like usable at all even?
Mm, I am not sure. I mean, you have the how's it called? The cascading portal that exists, and cascading portal synergizes with the portal snipe, which I hate immensely and should be nerfed. But the community won't let me. And after that, so whatever action generation you have, you use you can make cheap and then bounce this a lot to gain HP and create a progressively bigger blocker.
Okay, this is cool on paper. True. Okay. To look at this in a different way. This is you don't really care too much about it as a body because yeah, it's 0/1, so you will not really use it as a blocker in most cases. It has a ward, sure. So it will survive most shit. But it's ongoing one-man attacks for gain 2 HP for a very specific use case that relies on you already setting up synergies for it. For this to realistically be usable, you will probably need a card like the what was it? burning the plans or something like that we talked about on Submitted for Your Approval yesterday, which was the banish at the start of the turn, banish the top card and force play it when it was 2 or less cost. Because at that point, this can actually get mileage out of it, because the copy that you're playing is a non-native copy, and if it's an action, this card is bounced and you gain 2 HP.
Wait,
Which is
this is play. I don't think
reasonable.
first play is copy trigger play. That's not how that
Right, because
works.
the thing is, like, what I'm firstly taught is like it's a non-native action that is created then, or no shit. What did it create a copy that is force
I
placed,
think
or
that
was it?
I mean, even if it created a copy, it first placed it, so it doesn't work with this.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, in that case, I don't know really the use case for this card.
Hmm.
Like this is cute on paper, but realistically, you can just play stuff like, well, multi-shot.
Yes, that is a comparison you can make. What if the HP gain was bigger? Would then it work?
Like 3 HP or 4? 3 HP probably, because that's more reasonable. The thing is, like, at this point, you just play this for the HP gain. As a unit, you barely care about it until it's like maybe a 3, 4, 4, 5. Because then it actually blocks stuff, but that's already so much into your game plan. That means that it is like 3 to 4 procs. And you're always playing non-native cards already. That means you're playing other cards on top of that while playing this 3 to 4 turns consecutive as well. That's very awkward. So yeah, as an occasional 3 HP buff for decks that care about that, maybe, but effectively this is like a non-factor in most decks.
How about you, Magenta?
I don't know. I, I don't think it would be good for much. I mean, especially since you actually have to keep replaying it for the 1 mana to actually keep gaining HP, right? So
So originally this card was a attacker. It had agile and unblockable, and it was 2 mana 1/1. And the 2 mana tax was too huge, and so I explained that feedback to Stranger Side, and then Stranger Side reposted this as a 1 mana 1/1 ward, unblockable, and did the same effects, I believe. And it always felt like it was undecided with between blocking and attacking. But I think like if you just bump the HP gain to like 3, and you could invest into this as an HP gain and create some kind of plant non-native matters hybrid. Maybe this shouldn't just be action, because action needs it too much.
Yeah. If this was any non-native matters, then this would be definitely better.
Yeah, especially when you can play so much prototypes.
Mhm.
So are we upvoting this for the and hope it gets buffed because not many cards are getting updated, or are we downvoting it so Stranger Side reposts this but better?
do cards ever get buffed?
Yes, they
They
do.
do.
Like this one. Cowgirl Hammer Mage. So this we talked about this. It didn't change since then. So I will downvote this. This unless Griff wants to change my perspective on it altogether. So it's a 4 mana 2/4 duelist. After an ally duels, not just it, so it's a lord effect. Create a herald, deal damage equal to a unit. Deal damage to a unit equal to the number of ally heralds. So you just
It's cute.
I don't really like progressively scaling removal engines.
The thing is, like, it's a 4-mana 2/4, and it's a gunslinger. It's a herald support card.
Harold.
It's a herald. Herald.
Herald
Sorry, I
is
don't
the
really have too much
weakest
opinions.
mechanic in
I
collective.
really, to make this short, I just find the Hammer Mage theme very very quirky, and I just want to see finally one of the Hammer Mages into the game,
Well, we
so we can
already have
buff
one
them
hammer
or
mage in the
change them.
game, in Legacy, I
Hmm?
believe.
They're just so quirky.
Yeah,
I just want to see more Tostamo cards in game.
but will that see play? And if it will see play, will that be like the desirable play? Because it's a repeatable removal.
It's a repeatable removal that has to wait a turn and
No, it
cares
doesn't. It
about.
doesn't because it triggers of ally duelists.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a good idea for that reason.
thing is though, you still have to basically just you basically get 1 damage and 2 damage. Mm.
Kingslayer Sigil is a spell from HPL. Create 2 Kingslayer. Search for. Create this. Double the stats of allied angels in play and graveyard. Kingslayers are 2 mana 2 flying duelists. Man, the baseline card is pretty sucky, isn't it? I think you always want this like for Surge for finisher, right?
Mhm.
Isn't Surge 4 on the 4-mana card quite expensive though?
It's an 8. Yeah, that means you're.
Yeah, but it doubles stats of your fucking angels. That's huge.
Yep.
Yeah, but is it huge?
Look at Cassiel, for example.
Please don't look at Cassil. She's fucking dying.
Because that's the thing. Because usually we are. I mean, unless there is some angel deck I don't know about, it's usually just Cassiel, right? Is
What are
your
you
Not
main
talking about?
angel.
We
really.
have many angels in game right now.
Sure, but if you are going to buff any angels, then you are going to buff Cassiel, right?
Well,
And the other angels don't really have
angels are often
that.
playing in Helden.
Do that. Do
I
that.
mean,
Yeah,
Baldwin.
right, but huh?
Do that. You
They don't
know
have
that.
that high stats, right?
You know that this kind of opens up the possibility of any kind of angel travel deck because this allows you to have an overrun ability. Also, many angels care about the graveyard reanimations. We have we have the vigilant angel that reanimates when you have a specific attack value. You have the void angels and those angels that support one attacking unit matters, and so on and so forth. Max, so basically this card opens up the design space for you to have a swarmy angel flyer deck, and for 8 mana, this creates 2 angel flying duelists that are 4/4 flyers, while also buffing everything else in your graveyard and on your board that's an angel as well.
I
And
think.
for 4,
Sorry.
it's just a flying duelist creator. That's
So,
reasonable.
Magnetar seems extremely out of loop. What are you talking about? We had like angel decks dominate the leaderboard when Monsterland felt like playing them and be number one. Like the Angel Tribal isn't by any means finished or amazing, but it's absolutely like playable. And yeah, this is like a finisher for that deck. I feel like the graveyard thing doesn't matter much because the card itself is already cost 8 and doubles your board, which is already like close to finishing the game. But yeah, it's a very powerful top end for that deck. I just feel like the search mechanic is kind of whatever because the 4 mana option is kind of dog shit.
It's a swarmy effect.
I don't think we have in the game any king that is killed by Kingslayers. Because, wait, actually, I think they can kill Kazaric.
That's an upside.
Because current Kazaric is a free. And yeah, I mean, I guess if you just count Lord, they can also kill Dreamer together, not so much alone.
It's cute. It has potential to be updated.
So yeah, mean, I am a bit conflicted on that search thing, but I would leaning into upvoting this. How about you guys? Have I made a good cause for you, Magneter? Have I convinced you?
I guess.
Amazing. A new card to upvote.
Peer pressure.
To usher
We're
in his
upvoting too
return.
many.
Scour 3, and then draw a card. Plan Scour 1. So it's another more reasonable ambition from Jamal. And is it reasonable enough? Is a permanent scour one good? This reminds me of New Horizon. I don't remember who designed it, but it was like a card that if you have only one in your deck, of every turn you scour one. Do you guys remember that?
Vaguely.
So, do you, aren't Gaussians an aggro deck? Do they care about continuous value slow scouring?
And
Strength control? Question mark.
I mean, you don't have to use this in Goshen's, right?
Yeah, fair enough, true. But you know, it's from Jamal. It has Gaussian in the image. It scours. It's my first thought.
I mean, I feel like you could maybe use it in Goshen's. Like it's.
I mean, like if you are playing Strength Control, you are scouring 3 for 2 mana, which is and then scouring 1 at the beginning of every turn. That's a huge tempo loss. Is it worth it?
You're also drawing a card.
Oh yeah, you are drawing a card. Fair enough. But it's I don't know. I mean, I guess it's better than tuning. I am leaning toward don't. I am leaning towards don't vote because it feels bad. How about you guys?
It's a cute little utility tool for strength control. Because, yeah, you get the initial scour tree, then draw a card, and then you're just kind of looking forward onto the cards that you need or don't need. And as a control deck, filtering your next draw isn't that bad, to be honest. Especially in strength.
Maybe there will be some kind of new, like more value-oriented shuffle into the deck stuff to banish Gaussian deck from this, huh?
Back, any opinion?
I don't know. I think it's fine. I guess just the plan keyboard is, I think, neat. So in general.
And we are so positive.
Spirit of the Flame Bear is an elemental bear spectre with dualist Chroma Spirit and Entomb choose to create 2 flames or a bear spirit, and it's a free 2. Huh, interesting. So it's another like 2 deck things. I doubt this merges decks, but also the bear spirit is red. And
And has
the
Chroma
flame is a
Spirit.
corn. I
Flame
think
is what?
this power creeps cursed consort, so it's too strong, right?
Okay. Normally, you will never pick the flames. You will always create the bear spirits, unless, and really unless you're playing a flame tribal deck, or basically flame name tribal deck.
But what about Brook? He cares about proccing his passive, right?
Or Hawkins.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and I don't think. Well, we can check the tribe here, but I don't think this bear spirit is an elemental because it's probably a specter.
It's a specter, so you can basically care about the specter tribe in this card. Because it's also Chroma Spirit, you can easily play it in the bear deck.
Yeah, this feels like a fine baseline unit that I don't feel particularly strongly about. I will tab about this. Magneter, you are a big bear spirit player, right?
I guess.
So this is your specialty. Tell us more about the deck, and will this fit?
Oh,
Do you guys
okay,
have
okay.
too many
Hold on,
free
hold on.
drops?
But the fact that I play the deck doesn't mean that I'm any good at it.
Yeah, I've never seen you being good at any deck, Magneter. Still, you have an opinion, surely.
I'm not sure. Honestly, at the moment, I struggle to have opinions about anything because the sun hates me and is frying my brain.
Then it's extremely cloudy on my area of Poland.
I cannot see any clouds here. Only the sun.
Then it looks like one of our panelists is dying.
Sorry, what?
So,
I'm
are you okay, Magneter? Like, do you need to stop the podcast and like?
I think I'm relatively fine.
Okay, so now voice your opinion on the bear decks, and worst case scenario, we will laugh at you.
I mean, I would put it in my bear spirit deck because I put almost every bear into my bear spirit deck. That's how I make my decks. I search for cards of the archetype and then I put them on all of them in, regardless of whether they are good or not. That's why my decks are so good.
Have you tried playing gamblers?
Uh,
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
Unbearable.
I don't know.
Oh
I don't
my
know
god,
if
I could have said the joke that the sun is to Magneter unbearable, and I didn't. I feel like such a failure. So yes, the Flamebear is just a fine baseline unit that everyone likes in mild manner. So it's going to be an upvote. And new unit is a Snoof Breeder. New card from Black Rift. It's a human merchant. It's a 2-mana 1/2. Summon an active. Discard a card to create an exotic Snoof in hand. If you discarded a unit, it has that card stats and that costs a -1. Exotic to Snoof is a summon. Give this any two keywords other than unblockable and untargetable permanently. So
Gesundheit, what?
So it's like a unit where you want units with downsides to discard to give its stats to Snamp. I don't know, and the Snamp is just a vanilla with 2 keywords. I don't get it. Does anyone see any potential I'm seeing? Because
And does this increase the cost of the snump?
No, it's it
Potentially.
makes it cost one less, which makes it never worth it to discard an action to create a snump.
Well, I mean, no, I mean you can discard an action to make a snump. Then the snump is just like a vanilla, right?
It's a 2-mana tutu with 2 keywords.
Which is technically vanilla, right?
Yeah,
And
I guess.
potentially above vanilla, right? Because arguably duelist is, for example, worth more than one stat point. Like duelist life point is decent, right?
Is that worth discarding an action though? For a 2-drops that you can play in turn 2?
Okay, let's just think of this as a Zuriel support card.
Why Zuriel?
Because
Because you create enough tokens in hand.
Most Zuriel cards care about figments. The only card from Zuriel that cares about token is like the Lightning Eater.
No, what I meant is like you're creating enough tokens so you can reliably just discard anything.
But most of the tokens are actions, aren't they?
Yeah, and you're still getting a 2-mana 2/2 with 2 keywords that aren't unblockable and untargetable.
So
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Lydia's
I am not discarding a Wonder Orb to create a 0-mana Snoof with Deadly to like maybe trade up with something. Like, yeah, that's kind of a nothing burger. I'm not running that for this.
So, Lydia left a message in chat saying error wasp synergy, thumbs up emoji, which I guess you can.
I mean, I guess you can run this with either wasp. Yeah. I'm not seeing this. In what chat did they send it?
It's like the special voice chat, like the actual one tied to the voice chat, sort of.
What?
Like in top right corner, there's like the show chat button.
I've never seen this thing. What are you thinking about?
I mean,
dear God, it is. Discord. I did. No, I have the full Discord experience. Thank you for opening my eyes. But yeah, so this is like best with like vanillas with a downside for you to discard them and get a snoof.
What tribes does a Snoomf have actually?
And check the original, and I guess it'll be the same.
Isn't it some kind of pig dog thing?
The original snoof is
the beast from Black Reef, so okay.
So
it's beast. Cool.
Beast Hawkins.
Those are definitely eyes of a beast. Yeah, but to be honest with you, I just don't see that much potential. Like it has way more text than potential, that card. So it'd be a downvote. I don't know, unless someone wants Liberum Veto right now.
Do we have Liberum Veto? Okay, I see.
Yes, this podcast is inspired by Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth that copied its rules by heaven. Because heaven is, according to Polish religion, is an electoral monarchy where God is just elected every time.
I'll just grab something to drink.
Okay, Dice Collection is a 4-mana mind card unit from the Genesis with. I didn't read the stats. It's a 4-mana 3/4 mind unit from the Genesis with summon. Get a card from your deck equal to your max mana. Get is lowercase, and there is no dot at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, the wording was criticized a lot.
We talked about it on the show.
It has 1 HP for each dice. So does it give you card cost equal to your max mana, similar to like Taran Tutor?
Well, we can look at the commentary, which says that when dice collection is paid, it will bring out a card either equal to your max mana or current. What do you mean or current mana?
Yeah, this is
What?
inconsistent. It shouldn't be able to bring out like current mana. So
Unless
the
it just
wording doesn't reflect its ability.
wait, hold on. Let me just check its blocking. If it has blocking.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about it having blocking. It probably has it.
I am not. I'm sorry, but I am not.
Like, people are discussing our show in the general. Why are you doing Safi? Didn't change the return yesterday and uploaded Asfia? And then Zinker says they will wish to continue it. See no issue with it. Yeah, there's no downside to having two podcasts. Is there?
The meta. Oh.
Our podcast will
Oh.
be clearly superior by having no structure whatsoever.
Right. So, indeed, the card has
More
blocking. The card
drinking
has
as well.
blocking. You were right, Papka. The card has blocking. And what it does, it draws an amount of cards equal to your maximum mana.
Yeah, that's
Oh, for there is flavor explanation in the blocking. Oh my goodness. There's flavor explanation in the blocking. This is actually revolutionary.
this is advanced.
God, how couldn't I have thought of that before? Flavor explanation in the blocks. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a download. Sorry, new player, but yeah, I don't want player to be able to draw cards equal to their max mana. I think they aren't even like English speaker, like native English speaker, because this isn't just like poor wording for cards. It's just like even in English it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
This card needs to cook a little bit more. Yeah.
And sorry for being so mean to a new player.
This is evil podcast Magneter. We're real evil. Haven't you read your memo?
We are a bit less evil today because Griff is with us.
Yeah, you're saying that this is a less evil podcast and inviting the dude who's called Grieve.
All right, sure, but you still have some of the submitted for approval influence, right? Like you have some of the approval influence. That's why we upvoted. That's why we approved so many cards.
Yeah,
today.
and I'm the person who shits on most cards.
But and yet we haven't upvoted this many cards in any other episode of submitted for disapproval. So
That's true.
I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm sorry.
So someone else read the card this time.
All shapes and sizes. A 3-mana action from Chromosome, that's a keyword. Okay, modify a unit with shapeshift and +1/+1. Create a copy of it in hand. What does modify do? Modify is a keyword that says permanently change the abilities, stats, etc. of all your copies of a card, including newly created copies. Shapeshift at the start of the game or upon creation, gain the most common tribal type among your cards. A maximum of 2 random if tied. So basically this will just pick you a card, you will pick a card or unit with shapeshift, slap +1 on
that's wrong.
+1/+1.
That's wrong. You aren't picking a unit with shapeshift. You are giving it shapeshift.
Yeah, that's.
You are picking any unit.
Oh, I told you modify a unit with shapeshift.
Yeah, it's not a condition. It's you are modifying by giving it shapeshift and plus. So this is like a dual tribal deck, and then you play this and you play mono tribal deck.
Yeah, no, this cares about the copies of the card. So it's basically a weird Necrot commander on its on an action.
Then is necro. Wait. So if this works on blueprints, does this work on flames? If each flame blueprint is different?
Yes, and
Actually, is it based on blueprints?
it should be based on blueprints
It
because
shouldn't, I think, because
no,
all our
because
no,
how does that-
all of our cards which do like your copies of whatever, they're all based on name, something like the all-seeing eye or whatever.
No. Most of the older cards that actually copied these cards are caring about blueprint. That's similar
No,
to
I
Necro.
don't think so. At least the newer. I mean, I'm not sure
Well,
how it's
you
with
can
older
just.
cards, but all the cards in standard are based on the name, I
I
think.
think Magneter is quite right. I have a vague memory of Zinker fixing some card and making it. I think my card, the recent one, the Inquisitor, by removing it because it was based on blueprint, and then because I thought it's going to be blueprint, and so said Magneter to block it like that, and Zinker fixed it by making it card about name. So yeah, our current standard is name, and it's Zinker, therefore it works like this.
Yeah, it definitely is based on. Actually, let me just check the blocking.
I mean, it's Zinker, like it's the same guy. It's probably like this.
Yeah, no, I wasn't paying too much attention because I was still of the opinion it was caring about blueprint. But yeah, in that case, yeah. And no, the shapeshift actually does something because it's upon creation as well, so it still sticks some.
Right, but it's upon technically the point is like it's upon the creation of the card. So if you give shapeshift to an existing card, it technically shouldn't do anything because it.
Oh.
In
Wait,
practice, that's not the
no.
case.
The thing is like this, like you. I think this cares then about the newly created copies as well. So yeah, on the unit that you're plastering it on, no, but if you create copies of the units,
In
does
practice, it's just it. I mean, technically, but in practice, like the card which, for example, draws you a card and gives it shapeshift, shapeshift dream team, right? Like that actually like works, and it doesn't create a copy. So
Yeah,
I
to
guess
be
it just
fair to Shapeshift, that is the most like intuitive way to work, even if it's like not technically correct.
yeah. To be honest, it's just a weird thing of the shapeshift explanation being arguably overcomplicated.
So here's the thing about this card. It's a Necrot commander for 3 mana, which is already like raise the banner, but not quite.
What?
If you have copies, and keep in mind we have Buruk in game, so this you can use this on like figments. So that's
Figment? Oh.
And all of your figments now work on your lord effects.
That's cute.
So, which makes Bullock the new spirit tribal hero.
Oh god.
Oh, praise the god of war.
Honestly, this makes me want to avoid this. Even like it's probably not balanced, but like I am already excited right now.
I feel like it's honestly could be fine balance wise.
I am. It feels too strong because like create a copy in hand is too far probably.
Maybe.
The thing is, like, still okay, it replaces itself, so that's fine. Though you kind of need to have a reliable way of getting some value out of it, so to create a copy in hand, I can understand. Overall, this will be probably just an aggro tool in most cases for specific tribal-esque decks or copy creation, or play this on bear spirits.
Main thing I'm afraid of is that like there is some kind of unit that when you give it of your deck that is too strong because many synergies archetype locked, but that will still be very exciting to find out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that seems pretty.
So
Worst case, we'll just update it, right?
are you guys still up for more cards or are already tired?
Well, the sun isn't shining directly onto me anymore, so I'm not burning alive.
You have 384 tickets. How about 4 more?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Noxious Waste is an agile deadly and to deal 1 damage to a random enemy unit. And this seems pretty strong. Well, it's a random removal. So I don't think we ever had this kind of destroy random unit effect. I think Cornel tried to print similar thing, and it was an Ustu designed by his girlfriend, or I believe, and
Well,
and he arted it, and it was similar deadly unit with entomb deal damage to enemy, but I don't remember. It was random, too random.
there are
Uh,
two random removals in Legacy. There is Scavenging Shark, which destroys a random damage enemy unit, and Ozelan Kraken, which destroys a random unit with 2 or less attack, enemy unit with 2 or less attack.
so
Okay, this is kind of cray-cray.
Yeah.
what does Cray mean?
We're looking at a 3 mana 4/1 with Agile Deadly. So it's a fireball on a stick. Which, if you ever block it, well, when you ever block it, is a 2/1.
I mean, it's not a fireball on a stick because you don't actually choose what blocks it, right?
No, a fireball on a stick is usually just it hits its purpose is to hit face. If you that's the fireball on a stick is usually a hasty or agile unit that is basically just there to be a one-off attack unit. The problem with this one is, while it's a fireball on a stick that is meant to hit face and kind of removes everything in its wake, which is the premise of a fireball on a stick, this is also a 2/1, because if you actually kill it with a unit and have any other unit on the board, this is a 2/1. So at worst, it is a fireball on a stick. At best, it's a 2/1. And even in the unlikely scenario where this is removed via a ping while you have something on board, this is just a one. It is still a 2/1, because if you're trading an action into it, you're still losing a unit. So this is the only case where you don't really have a drawback against this card as the player playing against it, is when you're playing a boardless control deck. This will always trade upwards in terms of card advantage.
So it seems. So here's the thing. In collective, blocking player has always advantage over attacking player, and this kind of changes that to a ridiculous extent, right? Because this makes the attacking player stronger by trading 2/1. And that's too much? Question mark.
Yes and no. It is very good in the current system, so where you can basically check, keep this against other mid-rangey / aggro decks in check, because if your opponent has any kind of board-based control deck as well, because this is also good in a mind mirror, a strength mirror, spirit mirror, getting through all the affinities. You have a good out against stuff like dart control. This is a very strong bullock tool, because this always ensures you, depending on how the blocks are actually managed, to remove 2 units on top of everything else that you're doing. So your opponent always has to actually have a plan against this card, and even if they're killing it, they're just mitigating their own board. So this is a very good board breaker in mid-range decks, and would actually be, as you said, a tool for the aggressive, a positive tool for the aggressive player. And we need more tools of this kind. But this is like borderline, where you're saying, okay, you have a fireball on a stick that's a 4 damage removal, or 4 damage to face. Is this too overtuned, is the question.
Yeah, I think like this should cost 4, honestly. Like this
Because
makes
4
it.
damage only matter if you're actually connecting with it.
Yeah, but removing 2 blockers matters very often, though. Like,
That's true.
and so at forma, like the traits that exist with this seem more acceptable to me. So
To be honest, this can be upvoted and then nerfed. Because nerfing a card is probably easier than buffing it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if we should approach every card with it doesn't matter that it's overpowered, we can just nerf it, right?
well, Magnetar, thankfully, I'm sure.
The main thing I was thinking about is the card's art, because I think it's really good for an AI. Like it scares me. It makes me think that Popcorn was right and AI will indeed replace artists.
Yeah,
And I don't
anytime
want
now.
Popka to be right.
It's over.
I don't want Popka to be right.
Well, Magnetar, you picked a wrong universe. I need.
Chair.
Welcome to the darkest timeline.
Who is reading this chair? I
The
think
one
I can read
where-
this chair.
Flame
Maybe.
Lord's
The one where-
Okay. Sorry, go on.
Who is?
Go on, Magneto.
All right. Flamer, Flame Lord's Cathedral. God damn it! Damn it. Flame Lord's Cathedral, if that's how you pronounce it, is a strength 2 mana 0/3 chair from Scythia. With after attacks are declared, this deals 1 to a ready ally and doubles its attack. I feel like we should read the entire flavor text. I think like that's an important
No, we are
part of
not
the
reading
card.
it. And it's very intimidating, and I am not reading mucho texto.
This is going into the Patreon episode for the ASMR reading of flavor text.
Damn.
Link in the description below.
This is quite an idea, honestly. But so
Real.
if only someone would sponsor me with ASMR reading set.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this takes me back, guys. I remember the original Bright Blade, and if this would be able to hit it and double its attack every time, that would be very funny.
Brightblade isn't real. Pułapka, you need to get...
It's real. I believe it.
You need to get over it, Pułapka. It's not real anymore.
Yeah, is it too strong? Doubling attack seems scary, but in practice, it kills units pretty fast, though, right?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I just like it because it's a rage card, right?
I think
It's a rage card, and
I think
and
you
my-
see this and you explode, and that's the art.
I mean, if you read the flavor text, you would know everything about it, right? I think, at least.
It's a hot seat. That's just
But the fire on the chair, it looks like it has arms, so it looks like actual exploded person.
I mean,
it could also be an armchair.
No, I mean like the four flames in the center. It looks like it has
No.
limbs, like
Well-
it's explosion.
I mean, it's supposed to be on fire.
Yeah,
No,
but
I
fire
don't think it's
doesn't look
supposed
like
to
that. This is explosion. Fire.
Okay, but this is an AI art. AI art is not advanced and will not replace artists, and this is and you were
Look-
and
look-
Pułapka
look
was
behind
right.
you.
Feel it cannot hurt you.
So yeah, I am not much of a rage player, to be honest with you, because I am not playing bad decks. I'm not playing good decks. I'm not playing at
What are you
all.
talking about? I mean, my judgment is blinded by the fact that it synergizes with rage. I mean, in reality, I'm not sure if it's good for rage. because the thing is, usually I think I mentioned this last time. Usually when you play rage, what ends up happening is that you either draw all your rage triggers and none of the rage cards, or you draw all your rage cards and none of the rage triggers.
And this is a trigger.
Or maybe I'm just unlucky. Yeah, and maybe I'm just unlucky, but I don't know. There aren't really that many good rage effects either, I think.
Okay, but you don't have to play this in rage. You can play this with like Cassiel and shit. Like
Yeah, but
it makes it a 4-1, and
Yeah.
it creates it during combat, making it not as vulnerable to enemy pings. But enemy can ping it before the combat, making mind games with you.
You can put it on a life bonder. Woo!
Yeah, exactly. This isn't even a rage card. It doubles the fucking attack card with rage characteristics.
Rage will be real.
Rage will never be real.
Rage will be real in 2023, I'm telling you.
So yeah, guys, do you like care for this? Is this exciting? Is this the strong? Is this the weak? Because strength aggro kind of fucking suffers a lot right now, doesn't it? After the after the Heldim combustion.
Yeah, let's give them a share to sit on, to support them.
Now Heldim, don't say that there is a mine in the chair. Oh god, he can hear me. He has AirPods.
We have a pyromaniac Heldum skin. This demonic one. I think he can probably sit on it. It's probably warm.
Yeah.
Chair Slayer Helden.
According to the flavor text, if he survives, then I think he will become the king.
Nice.
So this means that Heldim will be king again.
Yeah.
This is my prophecy. If this card gets in, Heldim will be king.
Heldim will never be a king. All Heldims are simps.
No, think of it. This is Heldum's advance into being a fucking NEET. He sits at home on his warm chair. He doesn't go online and try to get attention for. Okay, let's be honest. Let's go a little bit off tangent. Looking at the current Heldum design, Heldum is a freaking gamer girl simp. You're right, Pop. He's paying incredibly a lot of mana just to get short attention from his gamer girl Cassiel. So she appears, he pays 2 mana, pays more, so she gets more benefits, just so she gets knocked off by the next fucking content claim, so he has to pay again to get her channel running.
God, we need the.
This is why they are the weakest hero.
We need a Discord admin Heldim skin.
Ferociously chatting.
Okay, so I understand that aggro in strength needs some support, and gamers will rise up eventually.
It's the perfect
Another chair. Summon, create 2 random actions in hand. Entomb, reduce the cost of actions in your hand by 1. So the Entomb is fucking strong as fuck for a 2-drop, but on the other hand, how do you pop this?
Okay, okay, jokes aside, Helden gets a freaking hot seat, but Victor gets a comfortable armchair in the middle of the wood.
I think Anon might be kind of this kind of Big Bang Theory watchers that hates chads and wants like intellectual men to.
Yeah, writer's armchair is the chat chair.
Anonymous is clearly biased.
So yeah, then wouldn't summon already be very strong? Well, random actions kind of suck, but yeah, this
Yeah.
kind of summon is okay. And then
I mean,
Entomb is
the
extremely
summon is good
strong.
for Brick Tick, right? Not Brick, Fortuno.
Oh yeah, it procs Fortuna, that's true.
It's Fortuna. You can also play this in KM, actually.
Yeah, for banish.
Yeah.
So this is like
But
already
you can,
extremely potent for many heroes, and then blanket reducing cost of actions by 1. That's too much.
is it?
Yes,
I mean, it's kind of.
like compared it to Thought Flags, like 3 mana less. Okay, it doesn't show you do good cards from your deck, but like the cost reduction is insanely potent. I mean, it is entombed, and you don't really have a very good ways to kill it. I mean, it's neutral, so there's that.
Also, this can randomly also be a very bad beats card for your opponent where you're playing this, get 2 cards in hand that can potentially answer anything, or be complete duds. And depending on the
Potentially.
hero you're playing, the deck you're playing, you don't care about the cards you're getting anyway. And if they're even good or have stuff like rebound when you're trying to discard them, it's just more upside. Overall, this compared to Taunt Flocks, as well as a body on board that can attack, which it probably doesn't, and block for 0/4, which is pretty potent. So all in all, you're just blocking with it in a control deck anyway, and reaping the benefits the moment this thing dies. And you can play 3 of it. In any deck because it's neutral.
Yeah, I always say that we don't have enough random generation in collective, in my opinion. I mean, generally random stuff. So I am kind of on the side of it. But on the other hand, the Entomb just seems like too much on that to job that is a good blocker. Like, yeah, I like it, but it feels too strong. Like,
And we nerf it.
we can.
We can technically nerf this, yeah. I would honestly, I find this card very interesting.
How would you nerf it? Would you just increase the cost, or?
Probably increasing the cost or having the funniest thing is you can actually first of all turn it into a card that has more HP at higher cost value, so you cannot easily kill it off.
Yeah.
It's a better blocker, but the benefit is more delayed. There's probably some interesting thing you can do with it. And if it's too obnoxious in certain affinities, you can still turn it into an off affinity card for them, so they have to pay more taxes for it to put it into an awkward card slot.
What do you?
The last thing is, this is also a very interesting martial promotion target.
Grief, I have news. This card isn't actually more comfortable than the fire chair because it has only 3 legs. When you sit on it, it fucking falls.
Oh,
No. This is the writer's armchair. This is the one for intellectuals. You have to have an extremely high IQ to sit on this chair.
No, I think writer sits on it, falls on the ground, and gets fucking isekai'd.
Yeah. Oh my god. This is Chair-kun. He's the distant cousin of Truck-kun.
So yeah,
Oh god.
I don't think this is getting in because of the big chair hate that we saw. The chairs are the most persecuted group in the society. But yeah, this will be an upvote with, yeah, it probably needs a nerf on. And the last card today is Chair of Decay. Untargetable end of turn all
Most
units.
uncomfortable fucking chair.
Yeah, this chair is very comfortable, I don't think.
End of turn all units lose -1/-1, which, because it's a lose minus, makes it a plus, so which means they gain +1/+1.
But alright, but it's obvious what it's actually supposed to mean, right?
Yes, give every unit +1/+1. If it's obvious when you know math.
I mean, no, actually, no, hold on. I don't think double negatives actually even are grammatically correct in English.
Well, they are correct in math, and math is a better language than English.
This isn't math here. We aren't doing math here. I've got 3 more days before I have to actually go back to school. I am going to do math then, but I'm not going to do math now. All right?
The thing is, like,
Sinus,
you shouldn't do math
cosinus,
at all.
tangent, cotangent, boo.
No.
Magneto, you shouldn't do math at all. Find help. Do you need to talk about something? About your addiction?
As an adult, I can tell you, Magneter, for sure, the only way math is useful in life is to avoid taxes.
I mean, to be honest, I actually do have to use math because I mean, when I make games, it's terrible. I am making a game, I'm programming, and then I have to use math. I have to use geometry. God damn it, it's horrible.
So I guess for Magneters, the Tostalmo math realm is the new horror realm.
I mean, a lot of there was like a horror card from the math realm, right? Wasn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly. It's not a coincidence, right?
Yeah, and the card itself is way too strong. Like, it's a Caldera Light for 2 mana. That's insane. Not too many. Like, this trigger once, and already enemy units don't deal damage. This instantly stops aggro.
It instantly stops or kills aggro.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I guess Bullock will be able to proc if it doesn't kill them. Proc with those 0 attack units.
Yeah, this is the most painful chair to look at and play against.
Yeah, this is way too strong, and I don't know. Should this just cost 4?
Fallout costed 3.
Yeah, 4 is probably more safe on the end. Because you're getting still 2 triggers out of it. It's untargetable. It can technically block as well.
Yeah,
so
but they aren't blocking with this unless like it's the last the only option.
yeah. It's depending on because if it's a turn 4 card, you can utilize it actually as a blocker because most of things probably don't die to it, except for very weenie-esque aggro decks.
Though keep in mind that effect is like delayed, right?
Yeah, at the end of the turn. So what I'm saying is like, okay, if it's a 4-drop, it will probably kill at the end of the turn most of the small fries or reduce the attack of most of those cards to a point where it's probably negligible. But if you're looking at stuff like a mid-range deck, you will probably throw this against one of those mid-range deck if the life and if the HP and attack value reduction isn't impactful enough.
I'm
Because
thinking
there's only like 1 to 2 units anyways, and instead of eating like 6 damage, you're probably throwing a 0/1 card before it.
if like this is of Ashgardy, because Ashgardy can play a Dunewalker package, and then this, like, if it comes too late, it doesn't stop Dunewalkers, and then when they get -1, then the Ashgardy
they're
can use
just
Give
dead.
the Order, right?
They're just basically dead.
Yes, I mean, I don't want this to be useless, but 3 mana feels too little, and
This needs a revision. A bit of a.
I mean, how would you revise it?
The thing with this card is the effect is very interesting, and it's cool that it's actually a stacks effect that is end of turn that does this thing. But the question is, when should this card come down, and how hard should it be at that point? If we're talking as a 4-cost unit, it can be too late for most interactions. As a 2-cost unit, it basically just kills aggro outright. If we're talking maybe about a 5-cost unit with more HP and maybe a stronger drop with a stronger minus stacks effect, then there could be an argument to be. And then there's an argument to be had if I say, okay, it's a 5-cost 0/6 or 0/8. Then you have a stacking 5 or 6 cost where you have a stacking board wipe-ish blanket effect, where you're sitting there as a control deck, you're paying a lot of resources, into a very delayed board wipe-esque effect. But it also stacks as attack, so it is a pseudo-fork board wipe effect. The whole issue with this card is when is the effect reasonable, and to what extent should it actually be a reduction? So that's why I said this should probably need a little bit of revision, and probably more people talking about this card. But since it's from Anonymous, I doubt it will come.
And Anonymous sometimes responded to feedback, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking more about the Discord. Not the...
I guess.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean,
It reminds me of this chair with glass image online. So yeah, none of the chairs are worth sitting on, and that's it. That's so it's a downvote then, because the numbers aren't nowhere near being right, even if the idea is very interesting. And that's it for today's episode. Then let me stop the streaming.